Well, hello everybody again. It is Dylan and Chelsea. We are Jukebox Junkies, and I'm getting really bad at remembering what our intro is supposed to be. I feel like I should probably write it down. But anyway, so Chelsea and I have already been talking for a while about how our lives have been crazy this week. As you can tell, I'm in a hoodie. I never wear hoodies. So like my brain's fried. So we're going to do our best to make this an entertaining podcast. So what's up, Chelsea? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Great. How are you?
I'm tired, but I'm here. I'm good. I'm alive, and I'm sure I'm ready to
Right.
go. Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
So we're gonna touch on a little bit of music news, stuff that's kind of going on in the world of pop music and just pop culture in general. And then we didn't really have a solid plan of exactly what we wanted to talk about this week. We had mentioned doing the Billie Eilish podcast or the Billie Eilish documentary, kind of in the same vein as we did Demi Lovato last week. I'm a bad friend. I forgot to watch it because I've been so busy. So we're not gonna be able to talk about that this week, even though I'm very excited to talk about it once I watch it. And then, so I put together this list of my favorite songs of the whole last decade from 2010 to 2019. So last year's songs don't count. But so I figured we could react to that a little bit, kind of go over it. We're not going to talk about every single 100 songs. I mean, we can, like, I'd be fine with that, but it might take a little while. But yeah, so that's that.
Yeah.
Told you this is going to be a rough podcast. I don't even know what I'm saying right now.
We're just being nostalgic. That's all.
We're going to be nostalgic. Instead of future nostalgia, it's past nostalgia.
There you go.
All right. So one thing that was really going on in the news the past week or so is that Justin Bieber's song Peaches that we talked about last week debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 featuring Daniel Caesar and Giveon. So that was really exciting. And that was one song I think that you had mentioned that you think could be the song of the summer. I think that was my number 1 choice too for the song of the summer. So far so good. We're on the right track.
Yeah. Do you know how many views the video has?
I don't, but probably whoa, sorry, probably a lot.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because literally it had been out for 2-3 days and I was at work and I went back in the kitchen. I'm always singing and being annoying at work. It's kind of what I thrive on. And I would just go back to the kitchen and go, got my peaches out in Georgia. And the one girl, no, so it came out on Friday and this was Sunday morning because she only works on Sunday morning. She goes, no, do not be singing that song. That song's driving me crazy. I liked it for about a day and it's already overplayed. I'm like, I'm a badass bitch. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
But like, I was like, it's already kind of seeping into pop culture and already making its mark, and it's been out a week. So
yeah.
Like, don't love Justin Bieber, but I love this song and I love that album more or less, and I'm very happy about its success so far.
Yeah. The first run through when I listened to the album, that was the only song I added to my library. The only one. Even though like I like the first like 4, so Deserve You or something, Deserve and Too Much. Yeah. There's a couple in there that I do like. I just don't pay attention to them because that one caught my attention. You got your peaches out in Georgia. Hey.
Yeah, it's such a good pop song. But then it has those, I love Daniel Caesar and Giveon in it too. I think it just works so
it does.
well. And it's kind of a stupid song, like I get my peaches out in Georgia. Yeah, that shit. It works though. I don't know what exactly it is, but
have you ever had a Georgia peach?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say that. You know,
although I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm dumb.
Is Haley Baldwin from Georgia?
I don't know, but I think it's probably an innuendo for something else.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure it is, but
yeah, like I didn't think about that till right now, this second.
I'm just being in the literal sense. Georgia are really good.
Yeah, and I don't know if she's from Georgia. My guess would probably be not. I'm assuming she's probably from LA or New York or something, but
she looks like a New Yorker.
Yeah. But I did like, and this will actually transition us pretty good to one of my songs towards the bottom of my favorite songs of the decade list. I love the song with Dominic Fike on the album too. Was that called Die For You? Is that the one? That's with Dominic Fike. I don't
get
remember.
lying. I listened to them.
Yeah.
I don't know the names yet.
Did you see he released a deluxe version the other day too?
Already?
Yeah, there's a song with DaBaby, a song with Tori Kelly, a song with Lil Uzi Vert, a song with Quavo, like a bunch more collaborations. He's coming in clutch with all the collabs. The one with Lil Uzi Vert, oddly enough, was my favorite. And I'm not a big Lil Uzi fan, but that was my favorite. Just he's making really good pop music.
Is Tori Kelly's one good?
Yeah, I only listened to it once, so it didn't catch my attention, but I don't think you can really have a song with Tori Kelly on it and it be bad. So, because she's such an amazing vocalist. So
I love Tori Kelly.
Yeah, and I think it's the closer. I think it's the very last one.
Ooh.
Called what was it called? It had a weird title. I don't remember. But
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. But one other thing that's really going on in pop culture right now is Lil Nas X's new music video and song for Montero, Call Me By Your Name. Have you heard the song? Have you watched the video? No? Okay. No. Once we get off, you have to watch the music video. It's something, that's for sure. It's really good and a lot of really great metaphors. It's also just very, you know that feeling when you first watched Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift, the music video? Have you seen that music video? How you're just like, what did I just watch? Like, what was that? How'd that happen?
Right.
That was kind of my reaction to watching this, but like elevated. Because it's so like, oh my God, how is he? There's a spoiler. He gives the devil a lap dance at one point.
Okay, I feel like I have seen them talking about that because there's always, well, when I was little, the devil was doing this with whoever. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And
so,
and I like, and then watching Lil Nas X on Twitter, like just like defending himself. Like, I don't know. I'm just living for it. Lil Nas X is so funny. I think I've talked about how I love his TikTok and his Twitter so much. And now he's just, it's like comedic gold right now. I'm living for it.
So he's just firing back at the haters. Like, hey,
yeah.
Whatever.
Well, Lil Nas X, I don't know if you know, is gay. Like, he came out a year ago, like when Old Town Road was really big. Like, so I guess 2019. And now he, like, at one point he like descends into hell, like during the music video. And so he's like, growing up, people were telling me to go to hell because I'm gay. And then I actually go there and people are mad. Like, but it's just really funny. He doesn't mean any offense by it. It's just so funny. Me and my friends have just been nonstop sending Lil Nas X memes to each other all week. But
so is it a big deal because he's gay and he's openly talking about things that he struggled with, or is it really just like the whole going to hell devil thing?
Well, the whole premise for the music video is it starts in the Garden of Eden, and he starts like in heaven basically, and it's so hard. There's so much going on. It's really hard to dissect, but from what I can get from it is he's in heaven, he's in the Garden of Eden, and then Eve finds out he's gay and kicks him out, and he just descends into hell because he's gay. So it's like a whole metaphor for but there's a lot going on in it, and I really need to really try to dissect it more, because there's a lot of, I think, like Greek mythology references and biblical references, and there's a lot going on. It's really well done, especially if you're like super Christian, it might offend you a little bit, but all the metaphors and imagery and stuff is really well done. And then visually, it's just really beautiful to watch. It's a great visual video. Yeah. So
does he handle his own visuals, or does he have like a team that works with him? Do you know?
I think he comes up with a lot of the ideas and a lot of the premises himself, just because and I don't have anything to that stands on. He just strikes me as that kind of creator. But I mean, he has a whole, I'm sure he has a whole team. Like the whole thing has to be super CGI'd. It's very animated, very, yeah, but it's good. It's really good. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'll go check it out. I just I never really like I like is it Rodeo that he does with Cardi B?
Mm-hmm.
I like that song, but I never really got like on board with Old Town Road
No?
until Diplo released Snake Oil and he has the remix on there. And
Right.
so I'll listen to that, but I don't really, you know. I mean, and my godson, he was like Old Town Road, like hardcore, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, Josiah, chill, don't know that one.
I'm pretty sure Old Town Road was just certified as the highest certified song of all time, like by the RIAA.
Wow.
Yeah, like did it go? I think it's gone diamond like twice or something, like some crazy number. It blows my mind. And from the sounds of it, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo is kind of on that trajectory. It's already, I saw somewhere today, I should have wrote this down. It is the most streamed song of in the whole world, like the only song to hit a certain mark in a couple years.
Wow.
Yeah. Some crazy number that I can't remember. Also, she released a new song yesterday. I don't know if you've heard it.
Has she? I haven't.
It's called Deja Vu. It's really good. It's not as catchy and it doesn't have as good of a hook as Driver's License, I don't think. But it really sounds like a Haim or a Maggie Rogers or Phoebe Bridgers-esque, like more alternative power female rock song more than a generic pop song. So not what I was expecting, but I liked it. Like,
to me, Driver's License isn't a generic pop song. It
no.
almost borders on alternative pop in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Olivia Rodrigo to me reminds me a lot of Lorde. Like her styles, even the way she like enunciates her words and her vocal tone reminds me a lot of Lorde. So I think it was a good direction for her to go.
Speaking of, since we're nostalgic and stuff today, where is Lorde?
What don't is she know. Doing
in her life?
I don't know. I hope she just comes back eventually. My best friend, Lorde's one of her all-time favorite artists, and we talk about this all the time. She's like, "Where's Lorde?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't have that insight information."
Right. We, as much as we wish we did.
Especially, I think Lorde, people might not realize it because she was a huge deal, but she had like 2 albums, and then her second album, even though it was really, really good, Melodrama.
Yeah. I love Melodrama.
It didn't have like the same big hit as like Royals did. Yeah. But I feel so people might not realize how important I think Lorde was to overall pop culture, because I think with Lorde it opened up the doors for Billie Eilish and for Halsey and for Olivia Rodrigo and people that have more of that darker alt pop sound. Even like Demi. Yeah, I think Lorde really brought that out in mainstream pop.
I agree.
But, all right, shall we start talking about my 2010s music?
Sure. I'm excited to see what your picks are.
How did I do this screen share again? Oh, there we go. I'm so bad. You would think at this point
I was about to say
using Zoom. I'm not.
After what, four episodes? 3? I don't know.
Right. So what I did is I have them here. I made them black so there were no spoilers. All right. So we can just start. Well, I do have some honorable mentions here. We don't have to go over all of them, but these are just songs that were like really painful cuts for me to make.
Every day. I work hard every day. Yay.
So what's funny, you know how I don't think we were on air yet. I was telling you how I had one song in my top 10 before that I'm like, I don't even think this belongs in the list anymore. That was Every Day.
That was it. Yeah, and here I am like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I still absolutely love the song, but like as I was remaking this list, I was like, I don't really ever listen to it anymore. And I'm like, it's like one of those songs that hasn't stuck with me like I thought it was going to. Oddly enough, I don't know, but I still think it's a amazing song. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years, you're gonna have a lot of songs that you love. Like all of these songs, I think are
Somebody that I used to know didn't make the top 100.
I know it. Don't tell me. Don't remind me. Like some of these songs.
Wildest Dreams didn't make your top 100.
I did not. Another shocking one to me was when I took a thrift shop off. So I'm like, but there's plenty of Macklemore up there. There's plenty of Taylor Swift up there. Don't you worry.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure, but still, like Wildest Dreams is one of my personal favorite Taylor Swift songs ever.
Oh yeah, and you know, also spoiler alert: one artist did not make my list at all. Rihanna.
But Rihanna, I mean, okay, Anti was like what
2016.
Yeah, so, but she hasn't made anything since then.
And then actually, this is one of her last singles too, "Love on the Brain," which I love. I was like, there just wasn't room for it anymore, and it makes me sad.
I'm reaching for something off of Anti that I don't know. Is that the one with "Bitch Better Have My Money"?
"Bitch Better Have My Money" actually was originally meant to be the lead single, but because it kind of underperformed, it actually never made the album proper, and "Work" was pushed as the lead single.
Yeah.
So same as 4 or 5 Seconds with Kanye and Paul McCartney. That was like one of the middle. It was never on an album. It was like between. Oh, I don't even remember what the album was before Anti. She had was it Loud?
Possibly.
I don't remember. I can't remember the order because she had like Rated R. There was Loud.
They were all kind of.
Yeah.
They felt really close together, anyways.
And then there was the other one. She was this Rated R? She was naked on the cover, but she had like words covering her up.
Yes.
That was Rated R. Okay, I was gonna say because she released like an album a year for a long time, so like I couldn't remember. Right. There was a lot of Rihanna in the beginning part of the decade.
She must have thought like, okay, I'm gonna release all these albums, and then I'm going to start my beauty line, and then I'm never coming back.
Exactly. All
Get
right.
Lucky. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I was gonna say get started, but that was another really, really hard one to cut. Let me tell you. Such a good song.
All right.
Okay, so
Not Afraid is a great song too by Eminem.
Oh yeah. Is there Eminem on here? I think I have an Eminem song in here. I think it might be in this block. I'm not sure. All right, so I'll unveil these first 5. Okay. And you'll probably know the majority of these songs because I'm a sucker for mainstream pop music. So I start with, do you know the song "King's Dead" by J-Rock, Kendrick Lamar, Future, and James Blake? All right, it is from the Black Panther soundtrack. Highly, highly recommend. It's really weird. Future especially is really weird in it, but it's a great rap song.
Future's kind of weird anyways, but we digress.
Yeah, for sure. And then this song you might not know, "A Million Lives" by Jake Miller. It wasn't a big hit. I remember hearing it on the radio when I was a young kid. Basically it's about how like a musician can affect people's lives in different ways. So every verse is about a different person who told him he like saved their life basically. Aww. Through his music. Yeah, so it's a really good song. He's not a huge star. He's had some minor hits, but he's one of my former favorite artists from like the beginning of the decade who had some minor hits, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
But the reason that this song has stuck with me so much, the second verse is about a kid named Dylan in 7th grade, which is about the age I was, I think, when the song came out, who wrote him a letter about how he gets bullied in middle school, and like the bullies take his glasses and broke them and stuff. And I wasn't bullied in high school. Like I was pretty fortunate. Like I had a pretty good time throughout high school, more or less. But for that always stuck with me because it just is like, my name is Dylan. I'm in 7th grade. I'm ridiculed and picked on almost every day. And I'm like, ugh, okay, here we go. So it really stuck with me. I'm like, this is about me, actually.
Right.
All right. Yeah, that's 5. There's the next ones.
Green light.
Oh Lord. I knew told you she'd come back. This
Yeah.
song, Green Light, should have been the biggest hit
Such
of
a
the year.
huge hit.
Yeah,
Yes. It should have been bigger than Royals. It should have been bigger than anything she's ever done.
I agree. And I don't know what happened, why it wasn't a big hit, because it was so good. And it was more of a pop song than Royals was.
Had anything she had ever put out, it was a true pop song.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah,
That
and
was the first song I ever learned how to layer vocals to.
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I always say justice for Greenlight, justice for Melodrama, justice for
Yes.
Lord's whole career for the most part. She should be bigger, but like we just talked about, she hasn't had that many hits. She only released 2 albums. She'll be back eventually someday, I'm sure. But just in that time, she completely revolutionized music. So
She did.
can't be too mad at her if she wants to be like, I'm gonna live my life for a little while. So
Right? I mean, because what, she was like 17 or so, like,
or younger. She was maybe 15, 16 when Royals came out. Like she was a kid.
yeah. So
Literally Billie Eilish just a few years before, and not as dark.
yeah.
Also this song, I almost didn't put it on here, and then literally I just had music on shuffle and it came on. I'm like, you know what? I forget how much I absolutely love Seven Rings, so I had to put it on here. So
I feel like it's one of those songs that's gonna live on for generations to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of anything, people will hear it come on and they're gonna be like, oh, do, do,
mhm,
do,
exactly. And
do.
I remember always just loving how she took one of the most iconic musical songs of all time and made it her
Yes.
own. Some of the
Yes.
lyrics are questionable. I'm not huge on like brag in your music, but like at the same time, like who cares? It's a fun song and it makes
She
my
can
inner
brag,
game come out.
Dylan.
Yeah,
She's Ariana Grande, okay? She can
she,
brag.
exactly. All right. So 90 through 86, few more. Taylor Swift song number 1 on the list.
Yeet.
Do you know this song by Ed Sheeran, New Man? It was
No.
on Divide. It was one of my favorite songs off that album. It is so good. Because a lot of people don't know Ed Sheeran's a great rapper. He's a great.
Take Me Back to London on his
Oh
his
yeah,
collaborations album.
was that with Stormzy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like, I ain't kidding. What would I lie for? I made $500 million off of the Divide tour. And I was like, ah!
Oh yeah, he's a great rapper. A song that probably should be in my honorable mentions I didn't have on there was a song he did with Hoodie Allen called All About It a few years ago.
Yes, I love that song.
Okay. I do too. Yeah, it's a great song. And Ed Sheeran, I wish some of his hits were more in like this kind of lane, like the more rap vein than the ballad vein.
He's just so well-rounded, man. It's
Mhm.
amazing. Ed Sheeran, you're the dude.
He
You're the dude.
is. Spoiler alert, there's a lot more Ed Sheeran coming up. Also this Post Malone song, the first time I realized how good of a real singer and musician he is.
That was it.
Yeah. Do you know this one? I think it's on it's on Beer Bongs and Bentleys.
Yeah.
It's a great song. And also Justice for Me by Taylor Swift. It's a great song. It does not get the credit it deserves. It's so much
You
fun.
could have put Wildest Dreams right there in me's place.
Maybe once Wildest Dreams Taylor's version comes out.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be so good.
Yeah, there's already snippets of it out. She put it in one of the new Spirit movie that's coming out.
Yay!
Yeah,
I love
there's snippets of Wildest Dreams Taylor's version.
so So I have a confession to make. I know it's a little bit off topic, but I was listening to my YouTube the other day, and it was like a pop music playlist they had put on.
Mhm.
It was like literally Dua Lipa, Taylor Swift, Dua Lipa, Taylor Swift, Dua Lipa,
Beautiful.
Taylor Swift, and then like Ariana Miley. But then it was back to the Dua Taylor, and I was like, is this because I was researching for the podcast, or am I really low key a Swiftie? I
I think you're really low-key a Swiftie. I think I'm turning
think
you.
I am.
I think a lot of people will like get it in their head about like Taylor Swift, like, oh, I don't like Taylor Swift for one reason or another. Because everyone, when you have a celebrity that big, everyone's gonna have an opinion on them. And I think once people really go back and like look at like the hits she's had or like look at songs that weren't popular, like, oh, maybe I'm lying to myself. Like I I've heard that narrative a lot. So
I'm definitely lying to myself because my kitchen manager, he is like a huge Taylor Swift fan, and he's like 6'8", like a big dude, like somebody you would not expect to love Taylor Swift, right? But
right.
we'll be getting ready to open in the mornings, and he's just blasting it. And every time I walk around the corner to where he is, I'll stop and sing, and then I'm like, yep, I'm a Swiftie.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's okay. It's cool. I'm coming to terms with
As you should.
it.
But I always say Taylor Swift's my favorite artist of all time, but I didn't really start saying that until the past like 2 years or so. I didn't really have one like for the most part. I'd be like Ed Sheeran or like if Camila Cabello's career really starts taking off, it'll probably be her. And then I'm like, wait a second, Taylor's been my consistent favorite for forever. And then
Right.
once Folklore came out, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, there's absolutely no questioning it. Favorite. Good thing Folklore is ineligible for this list because almost every
Right,
track is
because 16 of them would have been that.
yeah. All right, here's a few more. All right, Julia Michaels song number 2,
Yeah.
Anxiety with Selena Gomez, incredible song. First Taylor Swift deep cut from Reputation, Getaway Car.
Yeah.
Do you know
Very
Soulmate by
intriguing.
Lizzo?
I honestly don't know much Lizzo. I know like Tempo and of course like the ones that are mainstream, and then other than that I haven't really checked her out.
Right. Soulmate should have been a single. I don't know why it wasn't. It is so good. It has such a good hook. I don't know what happened, but it's a great song. And then of course, yeah, Bury a Friend, my favorite Billie Eilish song. This is a song that I hadn't put on the list before because like it was a 2019 hit, and I was like, I don't want to flood this with so many songs from 2019 just because they were so fresh in my head. But now there's been time for songs to sit with me for a while, and so now I'm like, yeah, this song definitely has to be there. So love me some Billie Eilish. All right, and the last little group here.
Oh, look what you made me do.
Had to.
Oh, be careful with me. Oh, that's probably my favorite Cardi B song ever.
Yeah. It's definitely one of mine. I don't want to give too much away. Cardi might be coming up again, but
Careful.
yeah, and that song took a long time to grow on me. Be Careful did, because at first I hated it. I think the first time I heard it, I literally couldn't get through it. Like I turned it off. I couldn't do it.
It was just too much.
Yeah, and then the more it got popular and the more I heard it, and then I was working at a radio station at the time, so we were playing it. I'm like, you know what? This isn't that bad. And then boom, I fell in love with it.
Yes.
And
God's Plan is great.
mm-hmm.
This is a good little 5 right here.
Right?
I like 5.
The House That Built Me by Miranda Lambert. It's one of my favorite country songs of all time.
Miranda Lambert is about one of the only country artists that I like.
Yeah. See, I don't listen to too much country. I've listened to more now than I have in years. But so it used to just be every once in a while I'd pick up on a random country song. Because like I think I have this one that's country, and then there was Hunter Hayes, Invisible in this group. It's also country. Which I don't know if you know that song. It's all about like kids being bullied in high school and being like you're better than that. Like you're gonna go on and do great things, yada yada yada. It's a great motivational kind of song. Great. It's really good. Highly 10 out of 10 recommend. All right. Do. Next little group. There's the Eminem song. I was like, I know there's one somewhere.
I need a doctor. Drew Barrymore and Lucid Dreams. This is another very good 5 right here.
Yeah, Lucid Dreams is what'd I do? Okay. There we go. Lucid Dreams is another song I didn't realize how much I loved until like the past year or so. I'm like, yeah, this song has to be here. I couldn't. At one point, I'd actually taken it out of this whole thing. I'm like, I can't. It has to be here, especially now that Juice is gone. I'm like, I need this song to be here.
Yeah, I mean that song. I love that song. I feel like I was jamming to it for a little while before the public because I found it on some obscure playlist on Apple. But
Right.
like I love that song.
Yeah, it's really good. And then with I Need a Doctor, normally I would have put it like that. That's the song my first time I made this list, I had, I think, like top 15. But I've really started to sour on songs that have the word faggot in it, especially when you're not like Same Love by Macklemore. That's different because it's a whole different kind of context.
Right.
So I still absolutely love this song, love the message, one of my all-time favorite songs, but Dr. Dre's verse just kind of sours the song for me a little bit. So that's why I kind of put it lower, but I mean, it's still on this list, so it's not like it soured too much on me. More like a guilty pleasure kind of song.
Right.
But so I do love me some Eminem, that's for sure.
For a long time, I remember sneaking to this is back when they still had CD stores, you know, and I remember sneaking up there with my friend and her dad, and we were going to buy what came out first, Marshall Mathers LP or Slim Shady LP. Either way, we were going to buy a second album.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and so we got it. The dad took us home. We listened to it for 2 days while we were staying at her dad's house. Well, we had to go back to her mom's house because her parents were divorced, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to her mom's house and she heard us playing Eminem and it was not good.
Yeah, it's funny. So I was having a conversation. Me and my 3 best friends, there's like group 4 of us that are really close, and we had gone out to dinner or something, and somehow we got on the topic. Oh, I think we were talking about like cancel culture, and then my friend Emma brought up how Eminem is being canceled because he's hateful and he says horrible lyrics and stuff. So then we were like kind of debating about like Eminem and stuff. And I'm like, kind of his whole shtick has kind of been to offend people the whole time.
Yeah,
kind of what he built his brand on. And I'm like, I understand why people are upset about some things he said. Should he have said some of the things? No, but like it's who he is. And I'm like, he's still, in my opinion, I think he's the second greatest rapper of all time, if not arguably the greatest rapper of all time. And the only one I would put above him some of the time, who's already had 3 songs in this list, was Kendrick Lamar. But like, I don't know, Eminem is just iconic, so important to pop culture, and I don't care.
And they don't even realize cancel culturers. Y'all don't even realize that he made the culture that y'all so freely use and abuse.
And one problem with it is Eminem's kind of hit that more legacy artist level where he's not really a mainstream artist who's putting out hit after hit after hit for like radio and like stuff like that. He's still popular, but it's different. He's like more of a legacy artist now. So I think like teenagers today, they don't really understand the impact and legacy of Eminem very well, or not just Eminem, but like a lot of rappers from the early 90s or from like the 90s and 2000s and stuff.
Yes.
That was very different, and they could say kind of what they wanted, and it's kind of what rap started in, like NWA. Like there's so much offensive stuff like Eazy-E did or Dr. Dre did, or like, but like that's kind of the genre and how it was.
They started out telling real life stories, you know, and I'm not going to say that these rappers these days aren't telling their real life story, because that probably is their real life story. You know, they were on the corner before and now they're not, but they still like to drink and party and hang out with girls and bullshit and party. And I bet y'all don't know that one because it's old, but you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So is it because of MGK that they're still trying to cancel Eminem?
Probably. I don't know. Eminem won that. I love MGK. Don't get me wrong. I love his rock stuff, but I can't help think in my brain that Eminem won that so hard that he literally had to change genres.
Yes.
Like,
Never forget.
yeah, he had to
I
go.
also blame the teenagers' parents. Like, y'all should let them know. Y'all should make them be culturally rounded, you know?
Right? Like every song on this list, when I have kids someday, I'm gonna be like, this was the music that I grew up on when I was falling in love with music, when I was deciding on my career path. These are the songs that inspired me to do that. You will know and love every single one of them. You don't have a choice.
Right. You're gonna learn it. Sorry.
Yeah. And then even songs like in the earlier decades, like Michael Jackson or Queen or what have you, Journey or Johnny Cash or other people. Yeah. Yeah. Stevie Nicks. Like you will know these people too. So yeah.
For sure.
Shame on you, cancel culture parents.
Yeah.
All right. Next group. All right. What do you think?
Ooh, Starboy. I'm a Starboy. Without Me, Halsey. The only way that number 68 could have been better is if it was the Dylan Francis remix.
Well, we can say it's a Dylan Francis remix for you.
And then Must Have Been the Wind. I don't think I know that, Alec Benjamin.
No, it's my favorite Alec Benjamin song. The Must Have Been the Wind is about, so Alec, he's like in an apartment building. So he's on a downstairs apartment and he hears glass shattering and screaming and stuff upstairs, and he hears like a girl screaming. So he goes upstairs to check on her, and she has like her turtleneck up around her neck and says, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. It must have been the wind that you're hearing making that noise. It wasn't me." And so basically this woman's husband or boyfriend or whatever it is fighting her and abusing her, and she's scared to fight against him. But eventually by the end of the song, she goes to Alec, and Alec lets her come in and like gives her a safe place to be. Like it brings me, it's my most played song ever on Spotify. It is incredible. One of the best written songs that I've ever heard.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Alec Benjamin to death. Which we've talked about Alec Benjamin decent amount on this podcast because of like our favorite songs of the year and stuff. I love him.
For sure. I feel like everything is each set of 5 is gonna just start getting better and better from here.
Oh yeah. All right, go again. I'm just waiting for you to find like one that you're like, how could you put this on there? I hate that song. I want there to be one of those. I'm gonna be like, you are wrong. All right.
Bad Liar, Selena Gomez doesn't really belong here.
Yes, it does. No, so that's another one of those songs that I couldn't get through the first time I heard it. I hated it. I thought it was horrible. And then somehow it became one of my all-time favorites. I think it's fantastic.
Especially was like Stars Dance. Stars Dance was 2011. This was totally anything off of Stars Dance could have made it on here in place of that.
See, but the thing is, I'm not a huge Selena Gomez fan. Like she has 2 songs so far on this list. She had one in my honorable mentions. So she has a lot of songs that I really love. But for the most part, I'm not a huge fan of hers. And I felt like Bad Liar was the first time I really saw what kind of artist she wanted to be. And it really sounded like she finally had her own identity.
It does sound very different from anything she's ever made. Yeah. I don't think, have you heard her talking about she wants to quit making music?
Mm-hmm. It kind of makes me sad.
Listen, in a way it makes me sad, but in a way it doesn't. The girl can't sing live. That's half of the job. That's more than half of the job.
Yeah, I remember when she sang Lose You to Love Me at there was some award show. I don't remember which one it was, but she opened it singing "Lose You to Love Me," and it was horrible. And I felt so bad. It was one of the worst live vocals I've ever
It
heard.
was like the first time she had been back on stage in
Yeah.
forever too, like I love Selena Gomez. I feel for her story. I think she is like a really cool person. I think she's probably one of the most kind of down to earth, like normal of that Disney kind of group that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
But she can't sing.
Yeah.
You know, I
She's
mean, I've never seen a good live performance of hers anywhere.
yeah, I don't think I have either. And I think she really shines, like her music really shines when she is working with Julia Michaels, which Julia Michaels wrote Bad Liar with her, or she's doing like a more of a sorry, I'm just burping and coughing and all sorts of stuff today. Sorry guys, I'm being gross. Um or she's doing like a dance kind of thing with like Wolves with Marshmallow is great.
Yes,
And
Wolves.
in my honorable mentions, I had It Ain't Me with Kygo, which I think arguably might be her best song, even though it's not on here. I think it's probably her best song she's done.
I don't know. I feel like just the fact that Selena's as cute as she is, and she's had such a great team around her helping her create this music, that for a long time her fans didn't care.
Yeah.
As long as you put on a good show, who cares if you're lip syncing? But now your fan base is older, as are you, and we're looking for, or they're looking for. I don't think anyways.
Yeah.
They're looking for a more genuine, like they want to see you perform, and I don't know.
Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens to her in the coming decade. See what she does, because she just released a Spanish, more like an EP. It was 7 songs, so it's not really a full album, but I'm not sure how that's doing, because it's not doing anything here, but I'm not sure how it's doing in like Latin America and the Latin, like Spanish speaking countries.
There's a couple of singles that are doing well, but overall the album isn't like
Right. So
super.
I don't know. I feel bad for Selena Gomez, but she also does have some genuinely great music at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I'm not sure she'll keep up the momentum. I don't think she'll go down in history as one of the best or one of the most iconic, but I'm still happy we have her, and I love Bad Liar. I think it's a great song. Also, have Havana. I almost put a little lower, but a lot of these songs have like there's a song, but then there's like more to it. Like I remember when Havana just blew up out of nowhere, because it had already been out for a little while. Then like it just blew up like seemingly overnight. And I've loved Camila Cabello since she was part of as part of Fifth Harmony when they were on X Factor and still. So I was like, oh my God, she's going to be a genuinely huge artist in her own right. And so like I love Havana, but I also love what it did to help one of my favorite artists become the superstar she is now. So
And since we usually put out things that we want to happen into the world when we're on our podcast, Sean, Kamzy, since you guys live together and have this whole relationship, can we please get a full album collaboration?
So you know what I heard on the radio that the DJs were talking about? Supposedly, the two of them were seen on a set of a music video last week. So I don't know if that means Camila's making a music video or Sean's making a music video, or they have a song coming out together. Camila hasn't released new music in a year and a half. So like, I hope if we're getting song number 3 from Sean and Camila, which spoiler alert, we will talk about Sean and Camila more coming up together in a little bit. I would, I can't wait.
I'm super excited.
Yes. All right. Next little group. Also, to all your music critics out there, please ignore the fact that I have a Sam Hunt song on here, because everyone all music critics hate Sam Hunt. I love him. And just so all music critics out there, just ignore the fact that Sam Hunt is at number 61.
That's
I love one of my other favorite country artists. All right. Another little group. What do you think?
Mine. Sicko Mode. I don't know. The hand clap fits in the tantrum. You would think I would, right?
Oh,
Look at your face.
so good. I can make your hands clap.
Oh, I
You know
do.
that?
Yeah, I just don't know names.
Okay, gotcha. So good. So good. And then
Yes.
yeah, and then I think Sicko Mode is the best rap song of the decade. Or like it's not my favorite rap song, but I think there's just so much going on and it's so innovative to the whole trap rap genre that's really popular right now. Travis Scott, you might not be my favorite artist, but there's a song that you did well.
Because he's mixing trap with like West Coast flow, and it's different.
Mm-hmm. He's the only kind of artist in his lane, and he's the only kind of artist that can do what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I've been down with Travis Scott since Antidote. Like, I did skip the Sicko Mode tour because I wanted to see Diplo at Hangout.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed at Diplo's show, but in the back of my head, I've always been just a little bit sad that I didn't cut out early.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I didn't because I heard so many Diplo songs I'd never heard before live. So
Oh, there you go. You win some, you lose some.
right.
Lost the Travis Scott experience, but you got to see all those songs. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then Pink, I absolutely adore Pink. I
Yes.
think I'm kind of sad. I mean, I get it where her career is right now. She's also moved into more of like the legacy artist kind of vein. Like I was talking with Eminem earlier, like she's not really a mainstream artist of today anymore. But I think she's a badass. She has some incredible songs, especially in the later part of the 2000s decade when she was really huge.
Like on in her prime.
Yeah. So like it kind of makes me sad that she's more of like the adult contemporary kind of artist now. But I mean, I'm so thankful for all the Pink music, especially if this was a favorite songs of the 2000s, there'd be a bunch of Pink on here. I think she's great.
Yeah.
And then, all right. Last for the bottom half.
Look at you with Justin Bieber at 51. Hey.
Don't tell anybody.
Oh, I can forgive you for not putting somebody that I used to know because you have I Hate You, I Love You on here. That's great.
I Hate You and I Love You and Let You Down by NF are probably the two songs out of this whole list I go back to the most, believe it or not.
Yeah, I sing Hate You, I Love You all the time. Like all the
Mm-hmm.
time. I probably sing it more than I listen to it.
Yeah. Like now that I'm thinking about it, honestly, I should have put I Hate You, I Love You maybe higher, but still, there's something about it. It's so tragic and beautiful, and I feel like with my life right now, sometimes I really relate to it. So, and then Let You Down, I remember I had an argument with somebody. I don't want to call him out, but I had an argument with someone really close to me, and I wasn't living like they were living in down south. I was living up in New York, and I remember it came on right after we got off that phone call. It was like the next song that came on the radio, and I burst out in the tears because I'm like, I'm sorry I let you down, because I was like, this is all my fault, like I did this, like I'm sorry. And so that song, anytime I get in my feels, I listen to I Hate You, I Love You, and Let You Down. But and then, do you know All Time Low by John Bellion? Oh, it is so good. It was a top 10 pop radio hit in 2016. It wasn't as big as it should have been. John Bellion does a lot of writing for other artists. Like I'm pretty sure he wrote Peaches by Justin Bieber, or at least helped write it. He's a big underground. He's a big writer, but he has some songs. He has a song with Elenium, you probably know.
Yeah, I probably do.
What was that called? Good Things Fall Apart.
Yeah.
But All Time Low is so great, and there's a line in it that just cracks me up. He's the only person that could have fit this one word in there. The word masturbate is in the song, in a pop song, and I'm like, wow, how many pop songs can fit this word into a song and make it work? It cracks me up every time. But And then of course the obligatory Taylor Swift, 15. Great song. Never go wrong. All right. The top 50.
Oh, Need You Now, Lady Antebellum. Yes, this is a very good vibe.
Yeah. Machine Gun Kelly before he went rock with Camila Cabello and Bad Things. So,
But see,
so
that was
good.
still almost kind of like sing-songy. It wasn't very
Yeah. It was very
pop.
very rock. It's had some rock elements in it. It was still some rap in there. It's a very well-rounded song. And it's another one of those songs that made Camila Cabello a superstar. So I will
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely helped catapult her and set her apart when she left the group or
yeah,
whatever.
it was it was the second song she ever released as a solo artist after I Know What You Did Last Summer with Sean. But
Empire State of Mind.
That's a song that I didn't realize how much I loved it until like the past year. I've probably listened to it as much in the past year as I would have 10 years ago. Well,
Really?
12 years ago now, whenever it came out. So
I love that song still.
Yeah, and it literally came on yesterday, and I'm on Alicia Keys' part. I'm like doing this, like going through my house, just dancing and belting. I just can't help it. It's like it feeds my soul every time it comes on.
It does. It just makes you smile.
So does Truth Hurts by Lizzo and Can't Hold Us Back anymore. You can't.
For sure.
I love Lizzo more than I even realized. Like she has 3 songs on this list, and so far, or there might be more. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but
we're gonna see as we unveil them.
Yeah. All right. Next little group.
Nice for what?
Favorite Drake song.
Magic. That one doesn't belong there. Number
I know.
40.
I think we talked about that last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just not a Bruno or 24 Karat Magic fan. I love it.
Telephone, Style. I don't guess I know Piece by Piece by Kelly Clarkson. If I do, it's not coming to my brain right now.
It is the song she sang when she returned on American Idol for like their final season. I made Keith Urban sit there and just bawl. It's about her dad and how he left when she was young and how like broke her into pieces. But now, although she's getting divorced now, so it kind of takes the novelty off the song a little bit. But it's about how her then husband will be a better father to her kids than he was to her. So it's so sad and it's so powerful because she's such a great vocalist. It's one of my favorite vocal performances of the decade.
Okay.
So, highly recommend it if you haven't heard it. It was nominated for a Grammy too, but you have to hear the Idol version. Not the original version is like dancey and it so does not fit with the lyrics. So it has to be the Idol version. I guess I could have put that there, but yeah. And then Nice for What by Drake and Be Careful by Cardi B both sample the same Lauryn Hill song, X Factor. So I love that song, X Factor by Lauryn Hill. And then both those songs were popular around the same time. They both sampled it. Can't go wrong. But that is my favorite Drake song by far.
Really? Like ever?
It's in every song he's released since then, like he has a new one called What's Next. I'm just like, this isn't Nice for What, so it's not as good. Literally, that's my first thing. I'm like, he can do Nice for What, and this is what he released. Yeah, I'll pass. Like, it's like the top best he can get, in my opinion. I don't think there's any more Drake songs above here.
Oh, Aubrey Graham.
Yeah, I don't. Little Aubrey Graham. All right. What'd you for?
Finesse, man.
Oh.
But other than that, I love every other one.
I loved that era for Bruno. I love his funky stuff. I think Finesse is fantastic. Cardi makes the song for me though. If it was just the original that's on the album, it wouldn't be here. But
And that's
Cardi,
before I had really gotten into Cardi B, because that was still when I don't think she had even released Bodak Yellow yet, had she?
yeah, Bodak Yellow,
Or it had
was,
just dropped.
yeah, because that came out. Bodak Yellow came out like summer 2017, and then Finesse came out right at the end of that year.
Yeah.
So it was like her second. It was the same time she was jumping on like No Limit with G-Eazy and Motorsport with Migos and Nicki Minaj. Like she was releasing a bunch of collabs, and this is one of those.
I don't know. I really only started listening to Cardi B because my friend liked her. And now I have this whole like I love Cardi situation, and it's a problem.
Yeah. And then, like I said, more Sean and Camila were coming up together.
Yes.
The Note You Did Last Summer. A little juvenile, but it's fine. It's a fantastic pop song.
I think it's so great. It hit me at a time where I was feeling very nostalgic anyways. And it really like, I don't know. I think it's great. I love that they played off of the name of an iconic movie.
Yeah.
And I love the little, I know, and they credited Bill Withers for that, didn't they?
Probably. I'm not sure.
Have you ever even heard Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, look, I was gonna be like Dylan.
Yeah. That never processed though that they I never put those two together.
Yeah, I know. It's a little bit different, but I'm almost certain they credited him.
Probably. And then again, the obligatory Taylor Swift song. I basically feel like I've had one in every group of 5, and they just keep getting better and better. Back to December. What Taylor Swift song do you think is going to be my top one? Because there's obviously more to come. Do you have a prediction? My top Taylor song of the decade?
I mean, my brain wants to immediately say Last Great American Dynasty, but that's still so new, and you said you didn't use that. So other than that, I don't. I should probably know, but
I don't know if I've ever actually told you. I don't remember. And then another Pink song, Raise Your Glass. Fantastic, amazing. She's a badass. And then Logic left Yakara and Khalid with their 1-800-273-8255. Gets me in all the feels. I think it did a lot of really good for the world.
It did. It really did. It helped people open up and talk about mental health just a little bit more than they were. Sean and Camilla did credit Bill Withers.
Okay, cool. Good. I did not know that. Look at you dropping some knowledge. All right, here we go.
Ooh.
Little more Taylor, little bit more Ed, more Camila.
Okay, so I love this list of 5.
Yeah?
I do. I really do.
Do you know What Do I Know by Ed Sheeran? Thank God. It's so and one of my favorite Ed songs for sure.
Yeah.
And then Taylor Swift 22. It's funny. So Folklore, the album, came out on my 22nd birthday. I might have told this story before. And since for the past decade or so, because 22 came out a long time ago, towards the beginning of the decade.
When I was 22.
Yeah. I was so excited to sing 22 and listen to it on repeat on my 22nd birthday. But then Folklore dropped on my 22nd birthday. So I was busy listening to that and like fangirling over that all day. So literally that night, my parents and my sister and my brother-in-law and I went out to dinner for my birthday and to this pub. And we were literally driving home, and my brother-in-law, who just is not the kind of person you would expect, he's very like hillbilly, he has a big old beard, like drinks Bud Light like water, like that kind of dude. And he's like, Dylan, did you listen to 22? I was like, oh, no, I didn't. Oh my God, I would have never forgave myself. So then we listened to it on repeat on the way home.
Well, have the whole year too, I rocked it the whole year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And so I was at a birthday party for my cousin just last Saturday. It was her 22nd birthday. And we were doing karaoke and stuff. And right at midnight, we all karaoke'd 22. And she literally goes, "Time to start my T Swift year." I'm like, I love that. Like, I am so here for it. Uh, all right. And then also Sing by Ed Sheeran, that whole Multiply album. I used to listen to it so much in my Jeep. When I was in high school, I had a Jeep Wrangler, and all I could do was either, it didn't have a radio, so I could either plug in an aux cord or like play a CD. And most of the time I just listened to CDs. I listened to that Multiply album so much it won't play anymore. Yeah.
Been there, pal. Been there. Yes, number 26. I didn't think we were going to see any Katy Perry here. He hates Katy Perry. California Girls is awesome.
I also give her due when it's deserved. She has a couple that I love.
And We Are Young, that's such a bop still. False Alarm is a really good one. Rolling in the Deep's going down in history. And then I don't think I really know Dance Off.
Yeah, it was not a single. I think it was a single in like New Zealand or something, but is on his This Unruly Mess I Made album, the same one as Downtown, and I highly recommend it. I mean, it's Idris Elba on a song, like,
right.
It's awesome though. It is a lot of fun. I remember I was DJing a high school dance right after I graduated high school, before I moved to North Carolina, and I played the song and it wasn't popular, wasn't a hit, so like no one knew it. So everyone at first, and it kind of starts off a little weird. So literally, like everyone's dancing and stuff, and then it fades into this song, and everyone literally stopped and looked at me, and I'm like, just wait for it. I'm like sitting there just doing this, and by the next like 30 seconds, they were starting to form a circle in the cafeteria where the dance was, and they were all having a dance off in the middle, and they were all dancing, and it was a big hit. Like it was one of the songs that got everybody to dance, even the people that like weren't really dancing too much, or like those people at dances who they're there and they're having fun, but they're not really like dancing a lot more, just hanging out. They even were starting to dance. Like it got everybody up.
Yay.
I really think you would like it if you heard it.
I'll listen to it. You should just send me this list so I can listen to the ones that I haven't heard.
Here we go. Yeah, I can do that. All right. Ready to have your mind blown?
I guess.
I think there's one song in here, if I'm remembering right, that you're going to be excited about.
Is it from Florence and the Machine?
Yes. More No, there's no Florence on here. I'm sorry.
Oh, Teenage Dream. Yes.
I think Teenage Dream is in here.
You Need to Calm Down. That is one of my personal favorite Taylor Swift songs ever. Like I that's definitely top 5. Like I love You Need to Calm Down.
Yeah, it's
for the Summer, The Middle. That's probably the best 5 lineup to me so far. Even
really?
Uptown Funk. Yep.
And it blows my mind for how much I love Cool for the Summer that I couldn't put it higher. But also, I mean, when you're talking about 10 years, top 25, that's
right.
Pretty much like you can't get much better than that.
For sure.
And I just wish Maren Morris would do more big pop songs like The Middle. Like I love her. I love Maren Morris. She's a fantastic country artist. But I think kind of in a similar way to Taylor Swift, I think she'd be capable of much more than what she does.
Here's my thing. Pop artists don't make as much as country artists. Country is the most listened to genre in the world. So I feel like she's staying where the dollars are.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, like Kane Brown, I don't know if you know Kane Brown too well, but he does country and pop. Like earlier this year, he was pushing one pop song and one country song two different times. I feel like that's something she should do. I don't know.
At least consider, because she'd be very good at it.
Exactly. I don't know. I love Maren Morris. I love the tone of her voice. I love everything about her.
She's adorable. She just had a baby.
Yeah. So, and also you can't go wrong with Uptown Funk. I think that's a song that like everybody loves for the most part. And it's just one of those undeniable, amazing songs. All right. Next group.
Ooh, Everybody Talks. I love it.
I love Neon Trees.
Worth It, Bad Romance, Broccoli and I Have Questions. Not gonna lie, when I saw Never Be the Same way down there, I was like, that could have been I Have Questions, but I'm glad I didn't say that because it's here.
I've just been like, I Have Questions is my favorite Camila song.
I love that song. I don't know that it's probably my favorite. I think Consequences is my favorite.
Consequences is great.
But I do love I Have Questions for sure.
I love Camila's ballads. Like I Have Questions. I had First Man on my favorite songs of the year last year list. Consequences is really good. Like she just has such a powerful voice and she puts so much emotion into what she's singing. Like I love like Havana. It's a great song. Like I love her more like upbeat stuff, but the stuff where she gets emotional, that's where she sells me.
For sure. I just love her all the way around because I've watched her since she was 16 and now she's all grown. And I don't know, you're great. You're great. And I love you, Kamsey.
Yeah, and then
ukulele named after you.
It's kind of funny. Like obviously Worth It was not Fifth Harmony's first hit, but it was their first like huge smash hit. Was their first. So it's kind of funny in this little group. I have both Worth It by Fifth Harmony and I Have Questions by Camila Cabello, which I Have Questions is one of her first solo songs she ever released.
For sure, in conjunction with Crying in the Club, right?
Yeah, yep, they came out together because the music video opens with I Have Questions and then goes into Crying in the Club.
Yeah, I clicked on the Crying in the Club video not too long ago and I was like, I forgot about all of this being together.
Yeah. All right. The last group before the top 10.
TikTok on the clock. Turn our speakers up tonight. Okay, confession to make. I really don't like Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
Really?
I was a little bit, I was probably 20 or so when that song came out. So it was just a little bit, I don't know, it just always felt cheesy to me.
It is cheesy.
And that's okay. But I know what it did for Miley's career. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see it that far. Gorgeous, Taylor Swift. I don't guess I know that one.
That's it's on Reputation, the Reputation album. Fantastic.
No Tears Left to Cry, Ariana Grande, and You and I. I'm so glad that You and I is right there. I really could have been in the top 10 probably.
Originally, I had it in the top 10. It's not like it hasn't soured on me at all. It just got moved around and stuff.
Yeah, but you had to rearrange a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because Lady Gaga icon. I don't know if there's any Lady Gaga in my top 10. I don't even remember. Because I don't remember. I just made this the other day and I don't even remember what all is in here.
We're gonna find out.
Okay, number 6 through 10. Should we do these one at a time or just do a big block again?
We can do the top 5 one at a time.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Oh, shake it off.
It had to be on here.
Same Love, Call It What You Want, and Don't. Okay, so I know the first 2. You
don't know Same Love by Macklemore?
I probably do. It feels kind of familiar now that I'm thinking about it. But like my favorite Macklemore song is Glorious. And honestly, that's probably like the only Macklemore I listen to unless I get in a mood and want to listen to Thrift Shop.
Right. No, I love Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. Like, Macklemore when he was with Ryan Lewis and solo, Macklemore can almost do no wrong in my eyes. I love him. And then, Call It What You Want by Taylor Swift. That is on Reputation as well. It's a fantastic. Reputation's not my favorite. Oh, it's my second favorite Taylor Swift album after Folklore. So before this, I'd be like Reputation. That is where it's at. That is peak Taylor in my eyes. Like, so good because there's so many good songs off of it. All right. And then, and Work From Home. On any given day, that could be like my number 1, depending on what mood you catch me in. So much fun. It's so dumb and the lyrics are so dumb, but it's so catchy and it's so just perfect. to me.
Do we think that Lauren and Ty Dolla $ign started dating then?
I don't, if they didn't start dating then, there was definitely
Like a courtship, they were
yeah,
talking or whatever.
yeah. But they broke up, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
I
I
loved the
wish,
two of them together.
I don't know what happened to Lauren. She hasn't released music in forever. She kind of
She
just,
hasn't.
yeah, she kind of seems like she fell off the face of the earth. Her and Dinah
She's on
both.
Instagram all the time.
Is she?
Dinah is signed with Hitco Entertainment still.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't put stuff out. And then, Allie put out a few songs too, but never really did much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy because for sure I figured Lauren would catapult just as much as Camilla did. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I
Because
thought.
between Lauren, Camilla, and Normani, that's where the fans, that's pretty much where they were divided upon,
Yeah.
that's their people. So
Yeah, I thought Lauren would be like I was like Camila. This was before like when like they were like when everyone was comparing them to like One Direction, like what is their equal. I'm like, so Camila is like Niall to me. And then Lauren is Harry Styles. Normani would be like a Zayn. And then Allie was the Liam. And then Dinah was Louis. That was kind of how I like ranked them popularity wise and kind of sound wise. And it seems like Camila became the Harry Styles instead.
yeah.
I don't, Normani too. I wish she would release something, anything.
For sure. I don't know. Lauren's very active on Instagram, but she's like activism and stuff now. So
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. She could always like Harry Styles they've been One Direction's been gone for forever, and Harry Styles really just blew up last year. So you never know. Could just be taking her time developing her sound. We'll see.
yeah.
All right. Top 5. Number 5, Neon Trees, Animal.
Yeet.
I love that song. I've known that song since it had 13 views on YouTube a year and a half before it got popular.
Oh, I forgot that your friend or your family or whoever knew them. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
So like there's not only is it a fantastic song, but like I have that whole connection with it that I'm like, I knew it first, everybody.
Like for real first.
Yeah, for real first one. 13.
Awesome.
So can't go wrong.
Nothing bad to say. Yeah, nothing bad to say about that song. Safe and sound. Bum, 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 bum,
So
yes, look, I'm definitely a Swiftie.
yeah, this is the highest Taylor Swift song, I will tell you that.
Is it?
It's the highest one. Believe it or not. It's so, and I think this is why I loved Folklore so much, because Safe and Sound is all I've always told people is my favorite Taylor Swift song. And it sounds like it could be on Folklore. And it's like I got a whole album of that sound. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
And I love the Civil Wars. So it was when it came out, it was like such a great collaboration. I was so excited.
And like her vocals are so great on that song too. Like I think it's her best vocal performance, especially in her earlier career, like when she was still like in her country and doing country and stuff.
Yeah.
And
it was very, very different from anything she'd ever done before.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is the first time people were like, okay, this girl can do more than just what You Belong With Me is. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think this is one of the first time people were like, whoa, okay, she's real.
Right.
All right. Number 3, Ed Sheeran.
On the Hill. Ed Sheeran.
This song, it came out right at a time where I moved away. I like moved away from my childhood town in Pennsylvania, moved down to North Carolina, had a big fight with a lot of my friends, wasn't really talking to them, like, and it reminded me that people grow up, people grow apart. Your friends you have might not always be your friends forever, but they're still the people that built you. They're the people that laid the foundation, your building blocks. And no matter how much you kind of hate that person or how different your lives change, you're still going to be thinking about them, and they're still the people that made you who you are, basically. So
Right.
it meant a lot to me when it came out. Helped me through
Reasons and
stuff.
seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I originally I had this song at number one, but as time's gone on and I've come to peace with like kind of moving away, and I have like a new group of friends that like I'm already closer to than I ever was with those people. Like, so it's not as important to like my psyche anymore, but like still like I all those feelings, and still like the song itself is fantastic, even if I didn't use it to like it didn't like save my life. So
Right.
like it helped pull me out of a lot of depression.
Friendships are, there's always, and it never stops. There's always that constant flux and flow of people in and out of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it never really gets any easier to deal with. And breaking up with friends is almost worse than breaking up with your boyfriend or,
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
I was just about to say that. I've never had a super super serious relationship, but like if it hurts half as bad as it did when I broke up with uh my friends, that like my one friend I was friends with from elementary school all the way until we lived together after we graduated high school. Like we had an apartment together. And now we don't speak anymore. Like we had a huge falling out, big disagreement. I moved away again. We don't speak. And if that hurts half as bad as that did, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Breaking up with friends is horrible.
It's the worst.
Yeah. All right. Number two. Now I have no fancy story for this song other than once you see it, you're gonna be like, yeah, utterly fantastic. Can't go wrong.
Take me to church. Yes, you can't. You can't. I don't care if people hate the song. I don't care if they love it. They were talking about it
Yeah.
and still do.
Like just the Hosier's voice just is so powerful, and this song is so powerful. And I remember the music video it was about two gay guys who lived in Russia who were like on the run because they were going to get killed for it. And so that hit home, obviously. So I'm just it's such a great song.
It's beautiful. The quality of his voice, that little raspy tone, and I don't know.
It's one of those songs that it like just gets like into your soul. Like it's
For
such an
sure.
undeniable powerhouse of a song. All right. Any predictions to what my favorite song of the whole decade is?
Absolutely not.
No, because there's no more Taylor Swift, there's no more Ed Sheeran, there's no more Camila. Uh yeah, there's no more Demi, no more Gaga.
Right. There's no more big names.
But there's one more artist that we've talked about a lot on here that has another one.
Hey.
Downtown by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Coming in at number one.
The most enjoyable song, the most fun song, the most goofy song, the stupidest song, all rolled into one.
It's a really good list, Dylan.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Just you want me to take off those Bruno songs?
Yeah. And that one Selena Gomez. Bad Liar.
Yeah, Bad Liar. Yeah, not happening. But I feel like I have a good variety of like different. I mean, it's all pop, but like you get some rock, some rap, some pop, some dance. I feel like I have a good variety. I feel like this shows I have a good ear. Like I'm not just stuck to like one genre. Like I feel like I kind of encompass. Like my top five is hip hop with Macklemore, rock with Hosier, pop rock with Ed Sheeran, pop rock with Neon Trees, and country with Taylor. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty good at well-rounding my tastes.
Yeah. Well, and you have to be well-rounded,
Yeah.
Despacito should have made this list.
Never.
Yes,
That
always.
nah, I just not a Despacito fan. Um,
All right, then,
what,
Mi
what
Gente.
oh no, Miente would probably be on my worst of the decade list.
Really?
Yeah, I've always hated that song. I don't know why.
Un, dos, tres, cuatro.
There's nothing. So there's nothing wrong with J Balvin. J Balvin's on this top 100 list.
No, yeah, try.
Miente is just not it. But yeah, well, I guess we may do for not having a plan for a podcast. Literally, I thought about doing this morning. I'm like, well, this is the only thing I have in my brain right now.
And it's fine. I think it worked out well.
Cool. I don't know how long this has been, but
Me either.
what is one song that you thought was very surprising that I had on this list? Or like maybe a couple songs. Did you have one?
Okay, I'll admit I was really surprised to see what was it? There was something that I was really like, oh,
Do I need to go back down?
yeah, go back to because it's towards the bottom. Definitely California Girls. I
Yeah.
never expected to see Katy Perry on your list at all.
Yeah, like I don't like Katy, I don't like Justin, but I'll give them credit when it's due.
Right. The Love Yourself was a surprise to me. And I was pretty surprised to see I Hate You, I Love You too.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore was a surprise.
I love Bryce Fine. I wish she was so much more popular.
And then it really surprised me that you put Humble instead of Loyalty or DNA.
Yeah.
I saw DNA in your honorable mentions, so
Yeah, I do fuck with some Kendrick Lamar. Loyalty, I do love Loyalty and like Element, and there's a lot of songs in the Damn album that I really love. And like the song Love is really good, but I don't know. Maybe because Humble was the really big single and the big hit. And I just maybe heard that one more, that it stuck with me more than the other ones. And I just love going, sit down, be humble. Like I don't know.
I honestly had really forgotten about it until I saw it on your list, and then I was like, okay, sit down.
Yeah. Trying to think, there was something else I wanted to say that I forgot. I guess it wasn't important. Oh well, whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
And it is kind of surprising that we had Be Careful, but not Bodak Yellow.
See, I love Bodak Yellow, but I don't know, it was never one of those songs to me. I'll never turn it off when it comes on, but it's not one of those. It's just in the middle for me somewhere.
I understand.
But were you excited to see Anne Marie? Because I know you like Anne Marie.
Yeah, I was. I was like, okay, hey. And really, I think the biggest thing is that we agreed that Green Light should have been way bigger than what it was.
And honestly, I probably could have put Green Light higher on this list. I don't know.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
Very good.
We've not been sleeping a lot, you guys.
Yeah, no, if you can't tell by this podcast, we've been rambling and my brain's a little fried. But
for sure.
Yeah, but I will post this list on all the social medias, and then I will definitely share it with you so you can hear the songs you don't know, because they are great and I highly recommend all of them. I'm gonna get off of this. All right. So one last thing we have to do before we go is we have to talk about the songs that we're listening to the most right now. Any songs you're listening to a lot this week?
What did I say last week? Did I say Carly Rose?
Because
I'm still listening to Carly Rose.
I think you said We're Good. Maybe.
Okay, yes.
But I think you did talk about Carly Rose too.
Yeah, well, I'm still listening to First by Carly Rose on repeat. There is a let's go to my little library
Yeah,
here.
that's what I did. I just pulled up my Spotify to make sure I don't forget anything. I really have been listening to what's it called? The Justin Bieber album quite a bit.
Justice.
Yeah, Peaches, I've been listening to a lot. The Eulogy of You and Me, I think we talked about last week by Lil Huddy. I think I brought up, listen to that a lot. And then
I'm on Dimitri Vegas. He's a DJ.
okay.
You know
Yep.
him?
Yep, I know Dimitri Vegas.
So it's Too Much is the single. So it's really awesome. The first time I ever heard of Dimitri Vegas, he had done a song with Paris Hilton called My Best Friend's Ass.
Interesting.
Have you ever heard it?
I don't know.
It's hilarious, and they're basically on a girls' night out, and they're talking about how the doorman at the club was like, "What promoter are you with? You can't get into this club if you don't have a promoter." And the video is two girls that really couldn't have gotten into the club without a promoter, but then they go in the club and they put on their VR little goggles, and the one girl turns into Paris Hilton and the other one turns into Kim Kardashian. And it's great. So this was the first song of his I had heard since then, and it's really awesome. I love it.
Very nice.
Very
Yeah.
fancy.
See, I've been listening to there's a song that was nominated in the country categories for the Grammys this year called Black Like Me by Mickey Guyton. Then she performed it on the Grammys, and I've been listening to it on repeat since. It is so good, and it's actually getting a radio push now to like adult contemporary radio, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, that's been probably my most played song of this week. Yeah, probably. I've been listening to a lot of older music this week, so I haven't been listening to too much brand new stuff.
Right. I've been on what other people say pretty hardcore, I guess, because the Demi Lovato documentary and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've been listening to Food, and
I guarantee next week my most listened to song will either be the one that she's with Noah Cyrus or Saweetie or Ariana Grande.
If the Noah Cyrus isn't good, I swear I'm gonna write a letter.
I'm very curious how their voices are gonna work together.
Oh, they're gonna sound amazing together. Because Demi, I feel like her voice is amazing, period. And it's so much higher. And Noah has that little lower register that she can bring in. Mm-hmm. The harmonies should be.
I hope it's more of like a rock leaning sound. I just want Demi to bring that sound back. She's so good at it.
She is, and she doesn't even know it.
Mm-hmm. So maybe next week we can talk about the Billie Eilish if I finally watch it, and then we can talk about the last 2 episodes of Demi's documentary and review the album.
Well, let's just do the last, because the Billie Eilish is long, so you need to wait. Let's just do the last 2 episodes and then the album.
Okay, that works. All right, so next week.
I'm sure we can get those all done.
Oh, my screen is exposing me that I'm not actually in this room. It just completely broke for a second. This is definitely the room I'm in, guys. I promise. Yeah. It's definitely not a random wall behind me. All right. Well, we have been Jukebox Junkies, and we're out.
Bye, guys.
Bye. If it's I love me or like I'm ready, it's not going to work. But if it's like sorry, not sorry, cool for the summer, not saying she needs to recreate those songs at all. That's not what I'm saying, but something with those kinds of energies and levels, but also relating to her story and bringing it full circle. If it's done right, this could be the year of Demi Lovato.
It really could, and I'm super excited. This album, I don't know if it's the deluxe version I have saved on my Apple Music or if it's just the regular album, but it's got 19 tracks. Mm-hmm. Like, that's insane, and it's fixing to be, I feel like it's going to give folklore a run for its money.
It very, you know, yeah. And Demi's never had a huge blockbuster album like Folklore or what was the other one, or like Future Nostalgia. Like, she's never had all of her albums, they've done well. She has a couple #1 albums, but she hasn't had that huge. Like, I guess Confident would be that was the name of the album, right? Confident.
The one that Confident was on, that was this one, right? Neon.
No, the Neon Lights is before. I think it was called Confident.
Confident was the next one.
I think so. I think it went.
That the one with the Iggy Azalea song on it.
Yeah, Kingdom. Yeah. That was probably her biggest album so far, and I think this one could blow it out of the water. But we shall see.
We'll see. We'll see. I think we're all going to have really high expectations for it now, and I don't want to be let down.
Right. And I wonder if she's going to include Sober in anyone on it.
Anyone is already like the leading track, I believe.
Is it? It doesn't say if she wants it to be like a story album, which I could really see it being. I don't know if that's the plan or not. It'd be almost really poetic to start the album with Sober and end it with Anyone, and like have like these songs in between. I think that'd be really powerful. I don't know if that's the plan or not, because the track listing's not out, right?
No. Well, it was just showing Anyone and What Other People Say. So that's 1 and 10. But now it's showing at track number 2 is Dancing with the Devil.
Okay. And that one, that's with Sam Fisher, correct?
What Other People Say? Yes.
Okay. Then I know that one.
Yeah. Okay. I know about what people say.
Well, I guess that wraps it up.
Yeah, guys, thanks for joining us on this really super sad episode of Jukebox Junkies.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts on what you think the song of the summer could be. If it's going to be one of the ones we talked about, if you think it's going to be something else, if it's not going to be Peaches, tell us why. And yeah, send Demi your love. Let us know your thoughts. Yeah, and try to learn something from it. Whether everyone has their own struggles, whether it's addiction, whether it's body image, or if it's something else totally. It could be depression. It could be any mental health struggle at all. Everyone has something, either super small, super big. Everyone has something. So watch this and try to learn from it, and apply something to your life, and try to learn something about yourself, and learn something that you could watch out for in your friends, your family, your loved ones, people you work with. Try to see signs of these, and just know how to help them and talk to them. And yeah,
for sure. And if you need help, don't hesitate to reach out. There are so many resources for mental health awareness, for people with all kinds of eating disorders that you may be struggling with, or even addiction.
Absolutely. So, and I will put links to all the places.
All the places.
Yeah, all the places. Yeah. So on that note, we are out. This is the lowest energy we've gone out on.
Ever. We're sorry about that, you guys. And it's not that we're not just sad. It's just that we've all spent a day learning and processing.
Right. And it's an important topic to talk about and to process and to learn from and experience. So, and we'll probably talk about this more when we get 3 and 4 and give our final thoughts and everything.
For sure.
See how the rest of her story unwraps. So.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Peace.